10. Forest fire. Initial task. Do you know how the forest fires occur? The forest fires may occur because of both natural and human causes. A forest fire can move at a speed of up to 14 miles an hour, destroying everything in its path. Read the story of a boy named Robin who crossed out the forest on fire to take care of his sick father. Robin was about to mount his bicycle. Suddenly, he spotted smoke rising from behind the distant line of trees. "It looks like a forest fire," said Robin to his friend Pinku. "It's nowhere near the road," said Robin. "There is a strong wind," said Pinku, looking at the dry leaves swirling across the road. It was the middle of May, and it hadn't rained for several weeks. The grass was brown and the leaves of the trees were covered with dust. Even though it was about 6 o'clock in the evening, the boys' shirts were damp with sweat. "It will be getting dark soon," said Pinku. "You better spend the night at my house." "No, Pinku," said Robin. "I need to be home tonight. My father isn't keeping well. The doctor has given me some pills for him." "You better hurry then. That fire seems to be spreading," said Pinku. "It will take me only 40 minutes to ride through the forest. Bye, Pinku. See you tomorrow." Robin mounted his bicycle and set out. His village was about 7 miles on the other side of the forest. He rode swiftly out of the village. Ahead of him, the smoke rose from the burning forest and the sky glowed red. He soon left the village far behind. He was now paddling on the edge of the forest. This was the part Robin enjoyed the most. The wind was rushing past him, blowing his hair about his face and making his shirt billow out behind him. He burst into a song. The smoke was thicker now, and Robin caught the smell of burning timber. But ahead of him the road was clear. He rode on. It was a rough, dusty road through the forest. All trees grew on either side, but the spreading glow of the fire on the right lit up the road. Usually the road was deserted, but this evening wild creatures were fleeing from the forest fire. The first animal that Robin saw was a hare, leaping across the road in front of him. It was followed by several more hares. Then a band of monkeys ran across, chattering excitedly. "They will be safe on the other side," thought Robin. "The fire won't cross the road." But it was coming closer. Robin paddled harder. He thought in half an hour he should be out of the forest. Suddenly, from the side of the road, several pheasants rose in the air, and with a whoosh landed just in front of the oncoming bicycle. Taken by surprise, Robin fell off the bicycle. He got up and saw that his knee was bleeding. It wasn't a deep cut. He took out his handkerchief and bandaged his knee. Then he mounted his bicycle again. He rode a bit slower now, because birds and animals kept coming out of the bushes. Smaller birds too were rushing across the road. Parrots, jungle crows, owls, magpies, and the air was filled with their cries. Robin could see the flames from behind the trees on his right, and he could hear the cracking as dry leaves caught fire. The air was hot on his face. Herd of deer crossed the road, and Robin had to stop until they had passed. Then he rode on, but now he was feeling afraid. From ahead came a faint clanging sound. A fire engine. There were no fire engines within 50 miles. Soon Robin discovered that the noise came from a small boy who was running along the forest path and with two milk cans clattering at his side. Tony, called Robin, recognizing the boy. What are you doing out here? Trying to get home, of course, said Tony, fanting along beside the bicycle. Jump on, said Robin, stopping for him. Tony was only 8 or 9, a couple of years younger than Robin. He had come to deliver milk to some road workers, but the workers had left at the first sign of the fire, and Tony was hurrying home with his cans still full of milk. He got up on the crossbar of the bicycle and Robin moved on again. Keep beating your milk cans so that the animals will know we are coming, said Robin. My bell doesn't make enough noise. The fire was much closer now. Flames shot up. Smoke billowed out above the forest. Robin's eyes were burning, but he couldn't stop now. Another 15 minutes of steady riding would get them to the small wooden bridge on the river that separated the forest from the sugarcane fields. Once across the river, they would be safe. Clang, clang, clang went Tony's milk cans. But the sounds of the fire grew louder too. Oh, look! Exclaimed Robin, bringing the bicycle to a sudden stop. An elephant was standing in the middle of the road. It moved about restlessly, its big ears flapping, wondering which way to go. From the left, where the forest was still untouched by fire, a herd of elephants moved towards the river. The leader of the herd raised his trunk and trumpeted a call. Hearing it, the elephants on the road raised their own trunks and trumpeted a reply. Then it walked off into the forest, in the direction of the herd. Come, Tony, jump on, urged Robin. We can't stay here much longer. Tony sat on the crossbar. Robin paddled swiftly. We are nearly there, said Tony. On their way, they saw a jackal in the middle of the path. It was either dead or unconscious because of the heat and smoke. Robin rode at top speed. They were close to the river. Robin and Tony went into the water. The water was only knee-deep, but it was very cold. Together, they pulled the cycle through the water. The river was quite swift in the middle. They kicked off their shoes, knowing that the shoes would be lost. Then, gripping the smooth stones of the river bed with their toes, they reached the opposite bank and sank down on the grass. We can rest now, said Robin. They watched the fire as it continued to spread. it had crossed the road down which they had come. The sky was bright red, and the river reflected the color of the sky. Several elephants had found their way down to the river. They were cooling off by spraying water on each other with their trunks. Further downstream, there were deer and other animals. Robin and Tony looked at each other in the glow of the fire. They hadn't known each other very well before. They now felt they had been friends for years. Vocabulary: pills, tablets of medicine. Billow out, to spread over. Deserted, empty. Pheasants, large long-tailed game birds with colorful feathers. Steady, firmly fixed. Grammatical structure: simple present tense. We use the simple present tense to express universal truths, habitual actions, things that occur very often and things that continue to happen for a long time. In simple present tense, we use subject plus I form of the verb plus s or es with singular plus object. For example, 1. All the planets revolve around the sun. Universal truth. 2. My father reads the newspaper every morning. Habitual action. Present progressive tense. The present progressive tense is used to refer to actions that are going on at the time of speaking. In this tense, we use subject plus is, am, are form of the verb plus object. For examples, 1. Sona is sleeping. 2. The cow is eating the grass. Present perfect tense. We use the present perfect tense to refer to an action that started in the past but is completed in the present, or to refer to some action that has just happened. In this tense, we use subject plus has, have plus third form of verb plus object. For example, 1. The child has eaten food. 2. We have completed a winter break homework. A. State whether the following sentences are in simple present, present continuous, or present perfect tense. B. Tick the correct options according to the tense forms mentioned in the brackets. Conversational skills. These pictures were taken immediately after these natural disasters occurred. Can you identify these natural disasters? Discuss in class 3 reasons each to suggest why these are dangerous. Which one do you think is the most destructive? Why? How can the risk be reduced? Let's listen. Listen to a news report about the efforts of two Sherpas to clean up Mount Everest. Then fill in the blanks. Mount Everest will be cleaned up thanks to the effort of 20 Nepali climbers who are setting off to remove decades-old garbage from the mountain. The expedition led by Namgyal Sherpa will clean in the area known as the Dead Zone. The Sherpa stated, "This is the first time we are cleaning at that height, the Dead Zone. It is very difficult and dangerous. The Death Zone gets its name because of the thin air, sub-freezing temperatures, and extreme climbing conditions in this area. The garbage lay buried under the snow in the past, but now it has come out on the surface because of the melting of snow due to global warming," the Sherpas said. "May consider Everest to be the world's highest garbage dump. Climbers leave behind their climbing equipments, foods, plastics, tins, aluminium cans, glass, clothes, papers, and tent as they descend the mountain. They even leave behind dead bodies. Mount Everest has been labeled the highest junkyard in the world. The team will attempt to remove at least 4,400 pounds of garbage during the expedition. More than 4,000 climbers have reached Mount Everest summit since the first historical achievement. A special effort is being made to remove the body of a Swiss climber who died on the mountain in a 2008 climbing attempt. The team's mission is to collect waste and set an example for future climbers."